Hello and welcome to the lesson Who is Germany? Let's see what we have for you. So in this lesson you will learn what is the German economy based on, what are the political hot topics at the moment in Germany, and what are the Germans thinking about sustainability. Let's dig into it. So, a basic understanding of our country. We are about 80 million people. Our unemployment rate is super low. We're at 3.4% at the moment. Our average salary is about 3,500 euros per month. The minimum salary about 1,500 euro per month. And the turnover of our country is 3,600 billion. I know this sounds big, and it is big, I don't know, but it is amongst the top 10 of the world. And here you have an overview of the 30 largest stock companies, and you should recognize quite a number of logos on this one. And this is just to get you an overview on how what is our economy based on. And this is mainly machines and energy. So we are good in engineering. Then finance, you see the red ones. You see technology, you can see the purple ones. Pharma industry, the yellow ones. And then chemicals are the light green, and the dark green are FMCG, that's for fast moving consumer goods. This is eventually the food industry. So we are standing on several pillars. And by the way, this is from Berlin, our most known symbol outside the world, which is the arc. What's it called? Huh?
Brandenburg. Brandenburger Tor. Ne?
Brandenburger Tor. Sorry. It's hard to translate. Brandenburger Gate. All right. Sorry. 20% of is about related to our work here in Solidaridad, which means the chemical companies and the fast-moving consumer goods. This is really a big part of Germany is in the sector where also Solidaridad is active. If we look at the food retailers, the biggest food retailers are Metro Group, Lidl, and Aldi. You have not seen Aldi and Lidl on the previous slide of these of the company. They are very large, but they are not on the stock market. That's why they are not have been placed. You have here an overview of the map of Germany and the different players on where they are based, and we are pretty much in all commodities also which are covered by Solidaridad. We also have a lot of food producers. So here we had the retailers. Now we have food producers. As said, in a lot of different supply chains, which are also within Solidaridad. Then we are also in textile. You all know probably Adidas and Puma, but there are also a couple others. And we are big into the agrochemicals. And you need to know we are not only active here in Germany, we are also in Switzerland. So I'm placing also Syngenta in here. I'm very certain that you know the logo from a lot of chemicals at the smallholder farmers. So we do a lot of import, we produce a lot, and we export then the final products. This is what Germany is known for. Germany trends. So this is how our grandparents, my grandparents, looked at Germany after the Second World War. They were my age when Germany looked like this. And then Germany rebuilt itself, and eventually there's an interesting and nice video which is you can access clicking this green button here. And this commercial is eventually from the 80s, but it's showing quite nicely that they say, okay, this is my car, this is my house, this is my boat. And the Germans are they think we need to own something. And the owning comes from the past because they had nothing. So not my parents, eventually the grandparents had nothing, and so they passed on that we need to own something. Our generation, my generation, is not anymore so much that we need to own things, but the current politics are still driven by the people from 40, 50, 60 years old, and they think quite a bit on we need to own things. And they fear that now there are risk coming in this world, and the owning whatever they own might be taken away from them. So there are big fears at the moment within the German society based on climate change, globalization, the economic globalization, and war. War not in Germany and Europe, but in Syria, and the people are fearing this here in Germany. And Syria, I just mentioned in 2011, there was the Syrian war, and if you look at the map, the Syria war is 4,000 kilometers away, but people have come 4,000 kilometers to come to Germany, as they think this is a great country to live in, and a lot of refugees have been coming here, about 1 million. And the German society is quite torn apart, and because we want to help these people on the one side, on the other side they are fearing that something is taken away from them. So you can see here the way the different people were coming through Turkey and then through Greece and Austria up to Germany. Since then, also since Syria, there has been a great a big movement into the right direction, which means that it's not only the Germans that are fearing that things might be taken away, but also other countries. And you see here an overview of the right-wing parties in Europe that are in Germany maybe 10%, but in other countries like in Poland or Austria, they have been getting quite big, and these countries are very nationally thinking, very much in line what we see in the USA at the moment. We are not really happy on this one, especially the young generation, but this is how it is at the moment, and we need to be keeping this in mind, what we see here at the moment. So, in Germany, there are different political parties. You can read under the different parties a little bit what they are, what their image is. The big parties currently in Germany, which are taking care of our government, are the two big parties. The one is of Ms. Merkel, and the other one is the Social Party, and they have joined forces for a second legislation period, which is normally 4 years. And on the other hand, we see currently an increase of different conflict zones, especially also in Africa. And this development has led also politics to be focusing much more on our neighboring continent, Africa, than on other continents. This is how it is, that a lot of people are looking at the moment on how to best help Africa. So this focus on Africa also means that a lot of money is currently put in the direction on how to assist the Middle East, the North Africa, also Sub-Saharan Africa, which means also the wrecks of West Africa and East Africa are quite in the focus of the German governments on how to best support. German thinking about sustainability. This guy you might not know. Don't worry, I didn't know him before either. It's Karl von Carlowitz in 713, where he first wrote a book about sustainable forest management. And people say that this one was the very first book on sustainability. And in German university, they all teach you, okay, we kind of invented sustainability by this Karl von Carlowitz in 200 years ago. And they want to drive this forward. So since what I want to say with this, in Germany, sustainability has a long history. We have a lot of universities, and there are overall different actors. There are different actors. There is research, media, NGOs or civil society organizations, companies, and the public sector. And I want to show you a little bit on who is thinking how on sustainability. First of all, the research institutions in Germany, there are quite many, and what I just told you about where we're coming from, there are just a lot of universities which are focusing on the topic of sustainability in whatever way, if it's energy, if it's agriculture, if it's forestry, and so on and so forth. You see a lot of companies. Also, this is a video, a screenshot of a video from BASF, so a big chemical company. They are all pressured by the German civil society to be acting into their ways into sustainability. So you can see videos and annual reports and so on, all about sustainability, about their corporate social responsibility they need to take. And of course, you have also, when there are big companies, they also need their network. So you see a lot of consultancy companies which are acting in the field of sustainability. And here are just a couple logos you can see. And with some of them, it's also, of course, great to join forces for certain projects, certain fundings, and and to implement them jointly. So we have just been talking about research and companies. Now let's see about the media. Also by now the media has picked up quite a bit in their reporting about sustainability. If you switch on the television, you see at least 1 or 2 channels really talking about environmental topics. It's quite present. It is there, and also newspapers and others are daily reporting about topics. Quite often in a very critical way, and not often outlining the positive stories only, but really putting the thumb into the wound and seeing, okay, where can we further improve. It's not always the best because they don't have the background of environment, and so we need to be very cautious. Also, sometimes they write bad stories about good projects. Anyway, this one is the NGO landscape or CSO landscape in Germany, and we have divided this into international and national, and close to economy and anti-economy. And you can see here we're in this upper right corner, close to economy and international, and here we are with a certain group of people. You can see that that there are others in other corners, and this is what our challenge is here in Germany, that we're taking care of this and we keep our good relations to these others. We're very unique in the space because you can see that a lot of the others are coming from the environmental sector. We are more coming from the fair trade direction. And there are not so many big international NGOs in Germany on this one. So, Germany is overall very green. There has been a lot of movement in regards to how to best solve the problems of waste, nuclear, climate, and biodiversity. You can see that this car of sustainability is being pushed by a lot of different people, and it's being pushed since a while. So that is definitely how we see it. Still, it